Wanted to make this video real quick because it's important. I've been covering coronavirus and the lockdowns, how this whole thing is fake. It's just about control, and economic reset has nothing to do with the virus because the virus isn't real. It does not exist. This is a channel called Liberty Talk Canada. I would suggest you watch this video, maybe subscribe to them. They seem like a good channel. It's entitled UN Agenda Soldiers Moved into Quebec. This is bad for Canada with Carl Edward Fleury. Now, I watched the whole video and it's very, very serious. If this is true, which it seems like it is, and I have another leak that coincides with it, which I'm going to show you, but if this is true, you need to worry about this. They're setting up isolation camps all over. Apparently the plan is, if you do not get the vaccination, you're essentially going to be housed indefinitely in these camps. We're going to get to that in a second. I'm also going to cover Australia too, in the UK. But before I start, I do have a Bitchute channel. I don't really promote all this other stuff. I was promoting brand YouTube until they had their hack. I'm honestly not even going to go back over there now because I've tried to offer them information on the hacker. I've tried to show them how I knew who it was, etc., etc. I haven't heard back from them. I still can't upload on that channel. So I don't even know if the people who say they're in charge are actually in charge. So I'm just going to avoid them. I'm not even going to use them anymore. So there's that. But yeah, if you want to go ahead, check out Bitchute. It's pretty decent. I don't think my channel is going to be around much longer with the stuff that I talk about, so food for thought. But anyway, the leak is supposedly this right here. It's a leaker from the Liberal Party of Canada, and they sent an email out basically giving the plans all the way to the third quarter of 2021 of what they were told was going to happen and what they were told they needed to do. So I'm just going to jump right into it. This is a leaker from a Liberal Party of Canada. Please contact all levels of authority and government that we know the plan. The isolation centers we already know are being built as shown on the government website RFP program. Let's see. I want to provide you some very important information. I'm a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada. I sit within several committee groups, but the information I am providing is originating from the Strategic Planning Committee, which is steered by the PMO. I need to start off by saying that I'm not happy doing this, but I have to. As a Canadian, and more importantly as a parent who wants a better future not only for my children, but for other children as well. The other reason I am doing this is because roughly 30% of the committee members are not pleased with the direction this will take Canada, but our opinions have been ignored, and they plan on moving forward with their goals. They have also made it very clear that nothing will stop the planned outcomes. The roadmap and aim was set out by the PMO and is as follows. Phase in secondary lockdown restrictions on a rolling basis, starting with major metropolitan areas first and expanding outwards. So think cities, then suburbs. Rush the acquisition of or construction of isolation facilities across every province and territory. That's like when I was talking about Arkansas, Ohio. I even called the Ohio Department of Health and questioned them, interrogated them almost, telling them like, hey, this is the documents you have saying you can take people involuntarily and commit them in an isolation facility, but yet you tell me that you're never going to do that. So they tell you one thing, but they're actually going to do another. And if this leak is true, it's incredibly damning and very, very serious. Expected by December 2020, daily new cases of COVID-19 will surge beyond capacity of testing, including increases in COVID-related deaths following the same growth curves. Expected by end of November 2020. Complete and total secondary lockdown, much stricter than the first, and second rolling phase restrictions. Expected by end of December 2020, early January 2021. Reform and expansion of the unemployment program to be transitioned into the Universal Basic Income Program. Expected by quarter 1, 2021. Projected COVID-19 mutation and or infection with secondary virus referred to as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rates of infection. Expected by February 2021. Daily new cases of COVID-21 hospitalizations and COVID-19 and COVID-21 related deaths will exceed medical care facilities' capacity. Expected quarter 1 to quarter 2 of 2021. Enhanced lockdown restrictions, referred to as a third lockdown, will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including inter-province and inter-city. In the second quarter of 2021, transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program, projected supply chain breakdowns, inventory shortages, large economic instability. This is expected the late quarter two of 2021. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints. I told you they're going to start setting up checkpoints and you're going to have to show papers. This isn't just Canada. This is going to be everywhere. You're going to have to even prove who you are, that you got the vaccine, etc., just to even leave your house, pretty much. We're going to get to that in a second. But what does Trump want to do? He wants to hand out a vaccine for a disease that has almost a 100% survival rate, which they admit they don't even have samples of in a lab, per the FDA admission, that he wants to hand it out with the military. And he keeps trying to find excuses to deploy the military using protests as a pretext. Like, oh, these leftists are blah, 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 so we got to go in there and send troops. No, it's just a way for them to get troops on the street for what they want to do, which is this. Restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area. Expected Q3 2021. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I mean, it already was, but even more so. Along with that provided roadmap, the Strategic Planning Committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor, one that would change the face of Canada and forever alter the lives of Canadians. What we were told was that in order to offset what was essentially an economic collapse on an international scale, which, by the way, this is planned, this is a big reset, it's all going to be digital, that the federal government was going to offer Canadians a total debt relief. This is how it works. The federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, etc., which all funding will be provided to Canada by the IMF. Who was the group trying to bribe the president of Belarus? Right? Trying to give him almost $1 billion to put his people under lockdown, and he refused. IMF. Under what will become known as the World Debt Reset Program. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. Let me read that again. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. Sounds pretty serious, right? And this isn't just Canada, this is everywhere they're going to do this. The individual would also have to agree to partake in the COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule, which would provide the individual with unrestricted travel and unrestricted living, even under a full lockdown, through the use of photo identification referred to as Canada's Health Pass. Committee members asked who would become the owner of the forfeited property and assets in that scenario, and what would happen to leaders or financial institutions. We were simply told the World Debt Reset Program will handle all of the details. Several committee members also questioned what would happen to individuals if they refused to participate in the World Debt Reset Program or the Health Pass or the vaccination schedule, and the answer we got was very troubling. Essentially, we were told it was our duty to make sure we came up with a plan to ensure that would never happen. Let's see, I gotta get back to the actual... All right. So we were told to come up with a plan to ensure that would never happen. We were told it was in the individual's best interest to participate. When several committee members pushed relentlessly to get an answer, we were told that those who refused would first live under the lockdown restrictions indefinitely, and that over a short period of time, as more Canadians transitioned into the debt forgiveness program, the ones who refused to participate would be deemed a public safety risk and would be relocated into isolation facilities, FEMA camps. Once in those facilities, they would be given two options: participate in the debt forgiveness program and be released, or stay indefinitely in the isolation facility under the classification of a serious public health risk and have all their assets seized. So as you can imagine, after hearing all of this, it turned into quite the heated discussion and escalated beyond anything I've ever witnessed before. In the end, it was implied by the PMO that the whole agenda will move forward no matter who agrees with it or not. That it won't just be Canada, but in fact all nations will have similar roadmaps and agendas. That we need to take advantage of the situations before us to promote change on a grander scale for the betterment of everyone. The members who were opposed and ones who brought up key issues that would arise from such a thing were completely ignored. Our options and concerns, or our opinions and concerns, were ignored. We were simply told to just do it. All I know is that I don't like it, and I think it's going to place Canadians into a dark future. Well, yeah, it is. Sorry, I had to pull up the other half. I thought that leak had all the info from the email, but I guess it didn't. So, but anyway, watch this video if you get a chance. It goes into that and it covers a lot more. But supposedly this is a real leak, guys. So if it is, I'm going to keep following up the best I can on it. But it should scare you because, like I said, if you haven't realized, this isn't about a virus by now, and it's about the economy, it's about resetting, it's about getting everyone microchipped and all that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but it's true. So if we go to Australia, this is off theguardian.com. It's entitled Melbourne Stage 4 Restrictions and COVID Lockdown Rules Explained. Australia is getting railed right now. So is the UK, so is New Zealand. Canada is about to be cucked next, and then America. I mean, we already are being, but it's going to be even more so. The only difference is we have guns, and a lot of these places don't. So they're able to run roughshod over the population more easily than they are here. So yeah, check this out. Stage 4 restrictions have been in effect across metropolitan Melbourne since Sunday, August 2nd. The Victorian Premier, Daniel Andrews, announced his government's roadmap for easing coronavirus lockdown restrictions on Sunday, 6 September. Some small changes came into effect on midnight, September 13th, and further changes were announced on September 27th. I hate when they put the day in front of the month like that. It screws me up when I'm trying to read. To come into effect by the next day. Here's what you need to know about the restrictions in Melbourne. Okay, so these are grown adults, by the way, who are supposedly free and supposedly not slaves. This is the questions that they're asking. When can I leave my house? How far can I travel from my house? What are the rules for exercise? What are the rules for wearing face masks? Is my municipality or suburb included? Can I have visitors to my house? Can I see my partner? Do I have to stay in Melbourne? Can I still dine in at a restaurant or cafe? Are the shops open? What about other businesses and services? What are the changes to warehouses and abattoirs? What is happening to construction? How do I get a permitted worker permit? Can I still move house? What is happening with schools? What happens to weddings, funerals, or religious services? What if I break the rules? These are supposedly free people asking these questions, or what the authorities anticipate they're going to ask, and then they go through and they explain every little thing. So this is the government telling you what you are or aren't allowed to do as a free person. Here's just one example. When can I leave my house? You are only allowed to leave your house for 4 main reasons: shopping for food and essential items, care and caregiving, daily exercise or recreation, and work. Employers must support you to work from home if you can work from home. Caregiving includes managing shared custody arrangements, using a babysitter, leaving home to care for animals housed elsewhere, visiting someone in an aged care home, and visiting someone in hospital. Specific directions apply. You can leave your house if you are at risk of family violence, or to apply for an intervention order, and to attend a court or a police station. You can also leave your house to access medical services. That explicitly includes leaving your house to give blood. Access to medical services is unrestricted. You can access them anywhere in Victoria. So, they did have a curfew, but they removed it. Oh, okay. So yeah, this goes through and painstakingly explains what you can or can't do as a free person. Let me read this last part. What if I break the rules? Victoria Police are monitoring traffic seeking to leave metropolitan Melbourne, and residents face $5,000 fines if they leave the city without a valid reason. Do you understand that? They're telling you that you can't leave a city. You can't travel to another city unless you have a, quote, valid reason. You are not free. You were never free. The fact that you can't leave your own city, those people should be rioting in the streets. Those people should be taking their politicians out of their office by the neck. That should be happening, but it's not. It should be happening everywhere, but it's not. People are just rolling over and taking it. So if this happens other places, what make you think it's not going to happen in America? It will, and it is. It's just happening slowly, like I said, because we have guns and they don't. So they're able to run roughshod over these people a lot easier than they are here. Here, they have to try a little harder to manipulate us into giving up our guns and just going along with it. Like me, like I said, I haven't worn a mask once. I'm not going to. And my line's in the sand. I won't be tested. I'm not going to get a vaccine. If I have to die, then so be it. I'm not going to be part of this system, and that's just what it is. So I'm fully ready to die by the end of this year, if that has to be the case. I don't want it to be the case, but then again, I'm not going to acquiesce. So, like I said, they're telling grown free adults, supposedly, that they can't leave their own city without a valid reason. Police can issue on-the-spot fines of up to $1,652, that's a very weirdly specific number, for individuals, and up to $9,913, another weird specific number, for business breaches of stay-home orders. The on-the-spot fine for not wearing a face covering is $200, and the fine for breaching isolation orders multiple times after testing positive is $49.57. This can be increased to the courts for a maximum of $20,000. Guys, this is for a disease that has a 99+% survival rate. Remember, I went over this the other day. Age group 0 to 19, 99.9997% survival. Even at 70 plus, you have almost a 95% survival rate. This is bullshit. It's complete bullshit. The FDA, I went through it the other day. They already admitted they don't even have quantifiable samples of the virus, because it doesn't exist. It does not exist. It's not real. This whole thing is fake, and it's about control, right? So let's go over to the UK, right? UK Sunak says new national lockdown would have stark costs. British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak said on Wednesday that he believed a second national lockdown to slow the spread of the coronavirus would carry heavy economic and social cost. Yes, because that is the plan. You destroy the economy, you make people completely dependent on the state, and then you go in and you provide the solution to the problem you created, which is universal basic income. You keep hearing things about the stimulus. People are fighting to get a $1,200 check. $1,200 isn't shit, guys. You can't survive off $1,200, especially if you have no other means of income and you have a family to support. You can't pay all your bills, buy food, and this and that. You can't. It just doesn't work. But they're conditioning you to accept money from the government. That's what this is, right? So when the government says, oh, the Democrats they're not approving it, us Republicans, no, it doesn't matter. If they're not talking about abolishing the Federal Reserve and the IRS, nothing they say matters, and everything they say is just theater. If you're not going to attack the root of the problem, and you're just going to chop at little limbs of the tree, then you're not ever going to attack the problem. So they're trying to condition you to get used to receiving money from the government. That's all it is. That's all it is. You had Andrew Yang, the first presidential candidate, going around saying, universal basic income is the best and we should try it and this and that. And they've been doing experiments over the last couple of years with it. But they're doing it to put it into your consciousness. That's all it is. This stimulus stuff and all this and that, it's literally just to make you dependent on them. So when they sever all that, support, then you have no means of self-reliance and you have to go along with their plan, which is to get the vaccine, get microchipped, and have everything digital and monitored. We cannot allow the virus to take hold. Remember, a virus that has a 99+% survival rate for almost all age groups, right? We can't let this virus take hold. We must prevent the strain on our NHS becoming unbearable. But we must also acknowledge the stark reality of the economic and social impacts of another national lockdown. Yes, because they already said the lockdowns and everything that they've done in response to this supposed virus has been worse than what the virus would have been if we would have just left it alone. So why do they keep pushing it? Well, because you're not all fully dead yet economically, so they have to go in and they have to stab you and bleed you out even more until you finally give in and say, you know what, fuck it. New World Order, I guess I'm in. I'm gonna get the vaccine. I don't even care. I just need to eat. I just need to provide for my family. I don't care what you do. That's what people are going to start saying. I guarantee people who say they're not going to take the vaccine now and they're all anti-whatever, 99% of those people are going to go ahead and do it. I won't do it. I'll put myself out there right now. I would rather die. I don't care what happens to me. I'm not going to go along with it, period. Point blank. And whoever you send to get me, well, make sure they're bachelors, right? What did that senator say before? Make sure you send bachelors because, yeah, I'm not going and I'm not cooperating. So you're going to have to kill me. You will have to kill me. I'm not going to do it, period. So like I said, check this video out. Follow up on that leak. I'm going to be trying to do my best to cover it. But yeah, this is happening everywhere, guys. It's mostly happening in places where people aren't armed, like the UK, New Zealand, Australia, but it's going to happen here. All right. And if they're putting UN troops in Canada, that should scare the hell out of you guys. In this video, they have videos of it. They got pictures of the people. UN soldiers, guys. And remember, the UN was posting job offerings for disarmament officers. Do you remember that? Let me see if I can find it. They posted it last year and they took it off. Yep. Again, this is off the UN's own website, careers.un.org. Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Officer. This was posted 26th of December 2019 to the 12th of February 2020 when they closed the position. So this was out of New York. Responsibilities. Within delegated authority, the Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Officer will be responsible for the following duties. Basically, you're going to have to go through plannings and setting up task force people and everything to go around and organize actually doing this and the logistics of it. But you can go through and read it. Conducts field missions to assess implementation of established DDR programs, identifies potential problems and issues to be addressed, establishes and maintains an outreach network. So basically, they want to get people in on the ground level and get as much intelligence as they can on who's armed, where they are, who's opposed to what they're doing, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to make a list, and then they're going to send people out to disarm people. And when they're ready to bring you to the isolation centers, as they're going to call them for COVID, they're going to go ahead, vaccinate you, round you up, put you in there, and hold you indefinitely until you agree to go along with the system. So, like I said, this is off the UN's own website, guys. But I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to let you know that that is a thing, and you should definitely be following it, and you should keep your eyes out. And if someone comes to your door to tell you you need to do anything, you know what to do with that person. You send them away and you tell them you're not going to cooperate. And if they refuse to leave, well, you know. But I don't want this to lead to violence, but at the same time, it seems like that's probably what it's going to lead to, unfortunately, because I know a lot of people who aren't going to go along with this. I'm not going to go along with this. There's going to be a lot of death. There's going to be a lot of uprising. There's going to be a lot of everything. And for all we know, they've already got 5G live right now. All they have to do is flip that little switch, start sending signals out in condensed areas where they want to start moving people. People start getting sick. People think the disease is real, not realizing it's just harmful frequencies being bombarded at them. And yeah, they're going to start thinking that there's a real virus. So just scary stuff, guys. So definitely follow up on this. Check this channel out if you can. I'll post some links to whatever I got for source material in the description. So you guys take it easy. Bye.